Hello, Assalamu alaikum, marhaba, salut. Who am I? I am a Palestinian. I started as a Palestinian and 33 years later I am still a Palestinian. My name is not important. I'm here just to talk about Palestine. When you're born in the Gulf, or most Arabic countries, Arabic regions, you get the passport that your father carries. So, in my case, my father was born in Palestine, in Tarshiha, close to Jewish settlement by the name of Ma'alot. Actually, the Jewish settlement surrounds Tarshiha. It's a very beautiful region, I hear. I've never been. I've seen pictures and videos. I've spoken to people who have been. And my mother was born after the illegal occupation of Palestine. My mother was born in the late 50s in Lebanon as a daughter to one of the many refugees that fled their land and left their home and their property and their materialistic objects and their futures and their pasts and their history to flee for their lives when the illegal occupation began. I don't exactly know the date of when the illegal occupation began. I just know May 15th, 1948 is the date Israel was declared a country, a state, in Palestinian land. Before May 15th of 1948, the country that showed up on everybody's map and atlas was Palestine, where my father was born, where my grandfather was born, and his grandfather. And then, as of that one day, when the world, Great Britain, United States, France, declared that country as Israel, in other words, just erased Palestine, the word Palestine, from the top of the map and just called it Israel, is when our identity just disappeared. Lucky for me, only to come back at the age of 33. I've been through a lot, quite a few different identities and paths along the way until I ended up where I am today. I am in Canada, in Ontario. I love this province, this country. I can easily see myself, carrying the Canadian nationality. However, I don't. Canada is not. I'm not a citizen of Canada. I don't carry its nationality. I identify with being Palestinian. Palestine is where all religions started. It's the land where all history begins. I see as a Palestinian who's never seen Palestine, who's not allowed to see Palestine, who has to live Palestine through the people who go there, through the internet. Unfortunately, I can't get any news about Palestine on CNN or on television. Nobody cares. For good reason. Who wants to hear about an 8-year-old with a face blown off, or a girl raped or can't go to school because she's Palestinian, or somebody having a home bulldozer over their head, where there's real issues going around the world. Like, how in the world can you justify? Can these people justify looking in the eyes of their kids, their sons and daughters, and brainwashing them, and telling them lies to their face about how that land that's ours is theirs? How can you justify doing the same thing, if not worse, to a group of people? Did I dare say the same thing as what the Nazis did? Oh yes. What does Israel have that reminds me of what the Nazis did? Concentration camps, let's see. Gaza, the West Bank, can they be defined as concentration camps? Let's look at Gaza for a second. Open air concentration camp. Does that make any sense to anyone? Enclosed area, where the people within that area are not free to leave. They cannot come or go. They cannot travel. They cannot eat when they want, as they don't have food. Some other group of people decides when you get food, if any. No electricity, no proper sewage, no water supply, no medical supply, no education, no school. Nothing. No work, no economy, no governing body, nothing. Is that not a concentration camp? People are dying there. It's raided. Gaza's raided so often, we don't even hear about it. We only hear about it when Wolf Blitzer and CNN decide, wow, there's enough missiles going on and bombs going on where it looks like a movie. Then we can, show it on CNN. Otherwise, it's just boring. What, a couple of kids died. Who cares? Let me tell you why I care. I'm a 33-year-old man. I have a 2-year-old daughter too. A 33-year-old man with no identity, no certificate of identity, no permanent residency in any country in the world, never had one. No passport, never had a passport, had to always carry a refugee travel document. No permanent rights anywhere. I cannot go to any country and work without authorization. I cannot live in any country without a visa or residency, including Canada. I cannot file a grievance with any government. I mean, why is Palestine important? Why am I a Palestinian? For all the mentioned reasons, but should I not care? I don't have to be a Palestinian to care about Palestine. Palestine is a cause that any human should be proud to carry on their shoulder, represent. I proudly represent. I don't put this on for a documentary. My scarf is ever, Palestine is in my mind, body and soul. It's on my skin. It's in my heart. It's always in my words. It's in my actions. So imagine how a group of people, can live right next door to another group of people. I mean literally a wall between you, separating you. And on one side it's like 2014, and on the other side it's like 1940. You see the fence? Did you see the caged entrance ever into Israel? Line up, not for hours, for days sometimes. Just hoping, just maybe, they'll feel bad for 2-3 of us and let us in and make a couple of bucks. They need high walls, to block off the concentration camp and to keep the animals inside. Why do I say animals? Why am I calling Palestinians animals? Am I being sarcastic? It's in my mind. It's a result of one of the recent occurrences. The death of Ariel Sharon. May God not have mercy on his soul. He called us animals. And he was voted into power by the Israelis. Yes, the same people that very few of speak of peace. He not only called us animals, he treated us like animals. Sabra and Shatila. Please Google. Please look up those two camps, how they're eradicated overnight. He massacred Palestinians like animals. He was nicknamed the Butcher. How is it fair that these people can live on my land, on our land, have paperwork that shows they own the land and have owned the land, where a Palestinian family could show the same papers to the Israeli court, and the Israeli court is going to throw out the Palestinian papers. Every day this happens. How is it fair that this land that was given to this group of people, the Zionistic group of people, the Zionists, keeps getting bigger? In today's world, there's nothing left, but it keeps growing. The size of the land. Israel in 1948 is not the same as it was in 67, or 70s, or 80s, or 90s. Every day it gets bigger and bigger. These concentration camps are getting smaller and smaller. They're squeezing these people out. They're trying to wipe out a population. Israel is trying to wipe out a population. This nation, this democratic nation that exists in the middle of the Middle East. In the heart of the Middle East is a Jewish state that lives in the middle of a Muslim area of the world. But the war crimes that they enact on a daily basis behind these wars, nobody's being punished for. In fact, I finally thought that somebody's being punished. I finally thought somebody cared when Ariel Sharon was stuck in a coma, rotting away. What a barbaric society. I mean, how could you act so democratic on the one hand and just be so barbaric and massacre and kill people on the other hand? How can you teach your children that it's okay to spill the blood of these people, that they're the enemy, that it's okay? How can you teach your children that? How can you teach them that they are rightful owners of a land that does not belong to them? Why is it that I'm taught by my father that we're cousins and we cannot hate them, but they are taught that it's okay to hate and massacre and spill our blood? I want to live. I have a 2-year-old and she deserves to live knowing that she's Palestinian and be proud. She carries a Canadian citizenship. It should make things easier for her. But I will make sure she understands she is a Palestinian. Do you really think you can eradicate Palestinians? And even, let's just make this assumption that you can kill every single Palestinian in Palestine. What about the millions of us outside of Palestine who educate people, who talk to people about our plight? Yes, our plight. I share the plight. Yes, I've never been because Israel does not let me go. But it's my plight. I'm a 33-year-old Palestinian refugee till today. Nobody can dare say, what do I know about it? I've never been there. Well, that's a good example. I can't go there. It's inhumane to stand by and to waste all of our time without paying any regard to the poor innocent Palestinian people being displaced as we speak, continue to be displaced as we speak. It's not fair to be out of touch with reality and only in touch with the reality shows. Both descendants of our father Abraham, our father, we're cousins, right? How can I be anti-Semitic when I'm a Semite? It's like anyway. It's not because we're anti-Semitic. It's because we're anti-murder. We're anti-apartheid. We're anti-ethnic cleansing. We, Palestinians. Israel will never be charged. Ariel Sharon died a hero to some people. I mean, come on. The guy's an animal. Palestine continues to be raped, abused, and under attack as we speak today in 2014. It's been 70 years. Almost 70 years. And apartheid. Yasser Arafat. Why do we identify with Yasser Arafat? Was he the greatest? No. He's all we had. No one else spoke out for us. It's not hard to follow anyone. Who speaks on our behalf today? Who speaks on behalf of Palestinian people today? No one. I love Palestine. أحبك يا فلسطين أنت كل شيء لي. شو يعني أكون فلسطيني؟ حسب تربيتي أنا love all. كفلسطيني love thy neighbor. حب جيرانك. بلش بالإسرائيلية. بحبكم يا إسرائيلية، انتوا ناس، انتوا خلق الله. بحبكم يا أمريكان، بحبكم يا كندية، بحبكم يا أفارقة، بحبكم يا بيض يا سود، يا مسلم يا مسيحي يا يهودي يا كافر، بحبكم كلكم. والله بحبكم. وفلسطين بتحبكم؟ حبوا فلسطين. Can you please love Palestine back? حبوا فلسطين. Victory for Palestine.
This is so amazing because